I'll be getting back to this console. So this is a White DSi LL I pulled the motherboard out of since it was unlaunched, had a region change patch applied, and wasn't launching into the launchers for whatever reason. Still haven't quite figured that out. And then this is a motherboard out of the console that had a top screen completely destroyed. The ribbon cable was just completely torn, so I wasn't able to test the motherboard. Since the launchers were bad in this DSi LL, I wasn't able to easily test any of the components. I could have probably muddled my way through it since it still launched apps. But I'd rather set that one motherboard aside until I can figure out what to do there, if there's anything software end that I can do, or if the NAND is just completely corrupted. And in this case, this was just a bad top screen, so I wasn't even able to get the thing turned on. So, just marry these two consoles together and test all the components from there. Let's get the get this back together. Looks like the cable routing looks like it stayed. That's good. Okay. I have no doubt that this motherboard works, but we'll have to be careful. Oopsie, did not mean to dump those out. Game card slot looks good. I don't have a problem pushing my game cards into it. Kinda had a feeling that was gonna happen again. Now before I get to putting that in, I'm just gonna make sure it boots. Well, so far so good. Because these little daughter boards have a lot of screws that go into them. I'd rather not spend the time to stick them all in if I have to pull the thing back apart to inspect what's going on. You know what? I was chasing down those little pieces of adhesive for the feet, but I almost don't care. They should come off during the cleaning, hopefully. Okie dokie. So the testing I'll be doing for this will just be a standard battery of tests I usually use for completed consoles. That will be these categories down here. I will want to get these top screen screw covers off. Um, Let me first wipe the memory. So while I do that, I guess I can start picking away at the top screen screw covers. Oh, Jesus, that was fast. Well, then I guess I'm gonna have to kind of do two things at once here. Later, okay. Sweet. Alright. So I was sitting on the DSi Sounds menu specifically, just to see if I can see the condition of these screens, aside from the fact that they're yellowing a little. And I was mainly looking to see if they're retaining an image. And they look okay. I don't see anything. Top screen is definitely in much better shape than the bottom screen as far as yellowing is concerned. Next thing I should probably do is check to see if it goes into sleep all right. Where's my copy? There's my copy of Mario Kart. I've only had one console where it had problems in sleep, but as I stick a little magnet there, full screen's dark and Wi-Fi light dims, the power light's breathing, and I don't hear anything over the speaker, so it enters sleep just fine. Game card slot feels okay. Alright. So I'll first start by testing the tactile buttons. I'll do that with my DS Pico, because I have some diagnosing software on it. press each button a few times. Face buttons are usually always fine. I'm more worried about the shoulder buttons. They seem to be okay. Now this bottom screen is in very good shape, but I will do a test of the touchscreen either way. Why I'm kind of pulling away as this touchscreen feels really weird. Doesn't feel OEM unless there's like something on the end of my stylus, but my stylus looks fine. Huh. I mean, even if it does feel a little weird, either way, it's still registering nicely. Functionally, it works. It might just need a screen protector for it to feel a little better. Okay. Now I'll do testing the sound systems. I'll also combo that with an SD card slot test. Piece of music loaded up on that SD card. And I figure if it can read an SD card, read a contents off the SD card, the slot itself is fine. I'll also test the microphone. And as well as the volume buttons, since I wasn't able to do that in my tactile button tester. There was no place for volume buttons, but this gives me a very visual indicator that those both work just fine. La 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 la! Microphone works. Looks like it sees my SD card as well as the piece of music on it. I'm going to listen to both speaker channels, plug in the headphones, listen to both earbuds, see if all that works. Which I have no problem with it whatsoever. Next is camera. I don't do anything too special, just do they both initialize and display a image that is relatively clear and, well, relatively in regards to how relative to the DSi, which is fine. It's not that great. And both those seem to work just fine, so I'm going to use USB tester, test the charge port. I'm just going to plug it in. Both software and the sort of hardware indicators are telling me it's charging. It's pulling 0.1 amps. Jiggle the charge port around. And since that charge light's not going off, that's telling me that the port is good. Solder joints are good on it as well. And lastly is the game card slot. So that will be what this stack of game cards would be for. Ooh, hello. So I kind of do a mix of things here. Stick the game card in normally. I'll sort of like fiddle with it in the game card slot to see if I can make it disappear. Because as long as it's locked in, it shouldn't vanish at all. And then I slap it against my open palm to see if I can get it to disappear. Which, aside from the very beginning of Bejeweled not really reading right away, so far so good. Everything is looking pretty good so far. I'm only going to test that little stack of game cards I have right next to me. I won't do all 20 of them that I have in store. Only because it would, if there was a problem with this game card slot, it would be, I would be able to catch it by this small amount of cards. I only do the larger card, or the larger pile of cards for verification on the consoles I put together. Okay, I have no problem. So it looks like this motherboard is in perfect shape, as well as all of the components. So I need to get that noted on my little motherboard sheet here. Unable to test due to the bad screen. No known issues. Pass test. I did not grab the version number. This is 1.4.5 U. Most recent version. Or the last version that was released. Alright, wonderful. Now I'll get this thing ripped apart and part it out, essentially. I may even use this motherboard and all of these components inside a blue DSi I want to put together. I have these two screens that matched very well, and they just so happen to be blue. Bottom screen and top screen should both be in good shape. So I'm just going to slap both those screens into a console, since screen matching can be one of the more annoying parts of putting a console together. Having sort of screens that already match saves me a lot of time. As far as this white one is concerned, though, I need to strip it all the way down so I can get these shell pieces nice and cleaned. Get them submerged in soapy hot water and get them nice and cleaned. At least on a baseline of clean. They're probably not going to be spotless. But even as like a baseline courtesy, it's kind of nice just to get rid of all the hand crud in the various nooks and crannies. Which this one's actually in really good shape, but I like the idea of starting fresh. Okay, this one's a black and gold arrangement. Okay, those should be fine. Get this in here. Get these for cleaning. Yeah, this console is in very good shape. Not even the membranes are dirty. Or at least nothing egregious. I don't even see any dirt or grime that's too particularly yucky. I don't even need to clean the LED indicators. I may still have to put this in my records, though, so I will have to put it over here for now. Now, this one... Yellowed edges. I'll know what that means when I get to it. Get all these buttons for cleaning. Okay, okay. My favorite poking pick. See where the ring will choose. Oh, bottom shell. See if I can get it to stick to the top. There we go. And voila! Get this shell put back together so that I keep it on one piece. Or as one set. And get it in my little area for cleaning. Hopefully I can do something about these marks on the side. Kind of look like scuffs against something. Cool.